And good morning, everyone. Time for another episode of Jeep Chronicles, where, as many of you know who follows me, I take this time while I'm in my Jeep to discuss things that are on my mind, whether it be health topics or current events. So today's Jeep Chronicles is going to be on health. And what we're going to discuss is my brand new liquid gold that many of you keep asking me, what exactly does it do? Now, I know that sometimes you don't see all the things on the Facebook news feed, but I've made several videos explaining liquid gold, aka which is liquid iron. Now, you've seen some testimonies from people since taking this, what they're feeling. And there's a reason why. And I'm going to give you some examples of two calls I got yesterday. And actually, I was with my mom at her doctor's visit, and what he thought about what I brought up. Now, first of all, explain what iron is. Iron is the leader. When you look inside your chart of mineral based, iron is like the magnet. It grabs all the essential minerals and places it where it needs to be. Iron also creates red blood cells, which creates hemoglobin, which delivers oxygen to the brain. It also strips out the carbon dioxide from the lungs, filters it out, gets rid of it, and brings fresh oxygen in. Now, why is this important? Well, you know people who sway when they walk, or they're bent over, or they have a hard time getting out of chairs. It's because they're void of iron. And when you're void of iron, you're void of energy. And when you're void of energy, inflammation pains you begin to feel. It's not that iron gets rid of the inflammation, but it brings energy back to the body, so now the body doesn't feel the pains. Example, yesterday one of our members came by during her lunch break to my home, good friend of mine, because she took that liquid iron last week. And on day 7, she texted me and said, I'm feeling on fire. I'm alive. I feel better than I felt. So she decided to give the rest of what she had to her mother to see what it could do for her mother. Now, her mother's up in age, in the 70s, and her mother always tells her it takes her about 6 or 7 times, rocking to try to get out of a chair, sitting sedentary, especially if there's no handles. Well, her mother started taking it. And what did she talked to her mother yesterday. And the mother said, get me some more. Because now I can get up. It only takes me a couple of rocks and I'm up. Why? It's because that iron brought back, that liquid gold has brought back energy to the body. This has 20 high-powered herbs, roots, and barks in it that's so high-powered in iron. And not only high in iron, but it starts to help with all kind of conditions and diseases you have. Because as I stated many times before, if you have enough iron in the body, it's almost impossible for the body to get sick. Another member, what I went and met with, the other day, she got her refill on the iron. And she complained to me about, she had hip surgery years back. And she was starting to feel that pain in the hips and on the right side. She calls me yesterday. She said, I've been taking 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces in the evening. My pain is gone. Why? It's because we brought back the energy. Oxygen is necessary for the body to function properly. That oxygen in your blood clears your brains, clears your thought processes. It starts to allow your body, your inner doctor, which is your immune system, to come alive and go to work to fix whatever's in there. But it has to start with iron. And usually when this is going to lead me to my next one. Yesterday I took my mom to her general practitioner, or her primary, excuse me. And he knows what I do. Matter of fact, he's really good friends with my rheumatologist, Dr. John Revelle, and they just had lunch Monday. And so he was questioning me about, because he knows who I am. And we were talking about my mom has a rare condition called polycythemia vera, which means the bone marrow is producing too many red blood cells. It becomes a thickening of the red blood cells, and now can create calcification in the blood, which can create heart problems because now the blood can't get to the heart or you develop strokes. So now they had on what is called an experimental medication called Jakafi. If not, she would have to get a therapeutic, meaning a phlebotomy done every 6 to 8 weeks to keep her blood count below 42. And she was at 48. So discussing this, because my mom is afraid of herbal. You know, when you're dealing with elderly people, they love to stick with the doctors. But she gets angry because she sees everybody else getting better from the medicine I provide. So, and I laugh at her, I say, I don't want to hear it. I have a whole pharmacy in the garage. And then she, oh, well, I said, well, you stick to the doctors and we'll see. Now, my mom is listening to this. And I says, everything that you're telling me could be avoided with the polycythemia vera if we simply bring back iron. He said, how so? I said, the iron that you prescribe a person is ferrous iron, which comes from a rock, which is the same thing that they use to build bridges. You must put them on a phosphate iron, which is plant-based iron. Why? Because if a person is void of iron and they don't have the red blood cells that creates the hemoglobin, you're going to have a problem within the central nervous system. You're going to have a problem in the reproduction or proper reproduction of red blood cells. And he thought about it. He said, you're absolutely right. Actually, I need to be on iron. I said, all of you do, because you don't eat the foods that are high in iron. And he was so amazed. He was looking at my face like, how do you know these things? You didn't go to medical school. And I'm glad I didn't go to medical school, because I don't want to fill my head with a bunch of information that cannot possibly help someone. Instead of learning from nature, learning from those who have cured diseases and sicknesses. We have two different thought processes on how the body heals. Their methodology is based on philosophy. Mine is based on the Most High said, if when you get sick, I put every tree and plant to heal you. Why? Because the body is made up of cosmic organic matter. Therefore, it can only be treated with the organic family in order to create a chemical affinity, meaning where two different substances comes together and they bind and create one. You can't have that if you treat it with a chemical which is inorganic. And all medicines or poisons, they are based on an herb or root or a bark, and they make a chemical version, which is often too hard on the body, instead of the natural plant. This is the difference in why this liquid gold is helping so many people come back to life. It's because it has 20 of the top highest producing plants that have iron in it. So guys, I hope this explains exactly what this liquid gold, aka liquid iron, is and what it does. See me. Let's get your body back to running on all cylinders, clicking again. And I tell people, take the 1 to 2 ounces a day. You could take more if you feel that you're so low on iron, you may have to take more. But as a general rule of thumb, I always suggest 1 to 2 ounces to start. So guys, hope this video has been helpful. One love.